All right, once again to another episode of Sports Therapy with FH Jr. This is the Super Bowl edition. We are finally here. The Hayes in the barn. And the game has been played, and this year's Super Bowl champions are your Kansas City Chiefs. When you're large and in charge, they call you cheap. All right. Well, a little bit about the show for the rule breakers, because these are the rules, or these be the rules, according to my little niece. Sports therapy is entertainment only. We don't talk politics. We don't talk race relations or sexual orientation. We don't give a fat rat's butt about what the Democrats are doing, nor do we care what the Republicans are doing. We don't care. All are welcome to call in and participate. Sports Therapy is a show where callers will get 2 minutes to either call in, rip, rant, kick some knowledge, laugh, and talk about all things NFL related. Our sponsor is always Crown Royal. That is my drink. Yeah. Yes. And man, this has been a action-packed show. Man, I don't even know where to start. Because I would say I wouldn't say I don't have a dog in. Well, I really don't have a dog in the hunt today, but I am a fan of fair play or good play. Without any delay, man, I am just gonna just man, it's football. It is the Super Bowl, and this is the last show, so I'm gonna be a little bit more lenient to my callers, and we just gonna let it go where it go because this is the last show of the season. Here we go. Sports therapy, sports therapy with F.A. Junior.
What's good?
It's all good. It is all
You see
good.
that game?
Yes, Jay, can you turn the volume up on your phone?
Okay,
All right, I got you.
okay.
All right, now what was you asking?
Did you see that game?
Yes, I was glued to the game. You know what? I did some key points. I wrote down some ideas that I wanted to come back and talk about. But here's where I am now. I represent the NFC, except for
Yeah.
I cannot could not go for those Cowboys. But I was riding with the NFC. But man, that game really came down to two things. It all came
What's
down
that?
to that one fumble by Jalen Hurts, and that made the difference. Because remember, he fumbled early in the, I think, first quarter, and he fumbled, and there was a scoop and score by the Chiefs
Yeah.
because the Eagles had the Chiefs on the ropes the whole game, man. They were giving them body.
They did. They
Oh,
did. I was nervous. I really was. I was nervous. I was going for cheese and I was nervous.
oh, so you were going for the Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, you know what? It looked like for a minute, it looked like the Eagles were going to run away with that game. It's like they had everything
It
clicking.
did.
It was like the Chiefs could not get off the field on third down at all, and it was like whoa, 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 and then but you know what, Jay? It seemed like it was a totally different. The Chiefs played totally different beginning in the second half.
Yeah. When
But
they put it out there, I'm so glad. I didn't win anything on my board, but hey, it was a good game.
yeah, I didn't win anything on my board either, so I'm at to look like I won't have to be calling my neighborhood bookie, my little hometown bookie,
Right.
whose name I should not be
Right.
mentioned.
Right.
But I was on several boards, so I didn't get to check the last one that I was on. But that's what the Super Bowl's about, man. It's about. In fact, Jay, let me ask you this question because I'm gonna ask all my
What's
callers that
that?
call in. What was your game meal? Because you got to start the Super Bowl out with a game meal.
Say again.
I said, what was your game meal? What meal did you have?
I had Michelob Ultra. I ate before I came.
I feel you. It's
So
important.
that helped.
It's very important that if you're gonna be consuming alcohol, make sure that you you gotta always eat before you start to partake. I'm a big fan of drinking responsibly. But me, I
Right.
I started my game meal. I had a old fashioned shrimp boil, man, because my folks are from Louisiana. All depends on where you're from. But we had
Right.
I had crab legs, man. I had crab legs. I had shrimps. All depends on where you from. I had those bad
Right.
boys. I had some andouille sausages in there. Oh, I was like, man, and then I topped it off with some jerk chicken wings, man, and then I had hot wings to go with that. I mean, you talk about,
That
man.
sounds good.
Oh, then I chased that with some of those world famous Boston baked beans. Jay, I was ready. But also, last time Jay, I was in the great state of Arkansas. I stopped in on the Country Kenny's and they introduced me to something, a whole new drink. Now I roll with Crown Royal, but they hit me with something
Yeah.
totally new. It was called
What's that?
Crown and Cola, which is sometimes I
Oh
do.
yeah, a lot of people doing that now.
Yes, I like to mix.
Mixing that.
Yes, I like to mix my Crown with Crown and Coke. But now you can find it already mixed. So man, so I kind of I couldn't go too hard because I got to be on the air. So I like, okay,
Yeah, no,
I couldn't go too hard. I couldn't go too hard in the paint, but that's where I was. But getting back to the game, now I will tell you this. I believe in letting the players play. Let the players play. There was the fourth. We're in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter game is on the line, and oh, it was down. Oh, within
the kids came too.
the Chiefs were driving, and they were on the Eagles. I think it might have been on the 25, maybe 30-yard line, and third and 8, and the Eagles held except for there was a penalty. Man, the object of the show is what callers get 2 minutes to rant, kick some knowledge, and do all things like that. But if anybody was gonna get ripped today, it had to be the referees. Cause in the Super Bowl, you let the players decide on the field. You don't make that call. I
I
don't.
get that.
You gotta tackle somebody in order for you to make a holding call on a where it's gonna decide the difference of the game, Jay. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I definitely do. You ain't got to tell me nothing. I know that Saints game. You got to tell me nothing. That's it. That's some bull right there.
I was like,
I
y'all.
thank God for that, but I understand it.
You don't make that call in the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, you don't make that call. But also, Jay, I want you to know that right now, I am rocking. Normally, I rock the standard uniform, which is augmented by the commander gear with the commander hat with the cool beard. But because this is Super Bowl, I'm throwing it back, man. I got my tie dye Redskin shirt on, augmented by the old school Redskin hat, and I'm still rocking the cool beard. But I just want to know when I post this video, I don't want anybody to say, man, where's the standard uniform? Well, you know what? It was a special occasion, and. Now here's what I was surfing Facebook. I have a Facebook account if you don't know, and an Instagram. The Redskin family was divided in terms of, it's a Super Bowl, so when your team is not in it, people got tendencies to like kind of side with somebody else. So Redskin family was like, someone would just die hard. They cannot go with the Eagles regardless. Nope. Nope. Then you had some that was rolling with the division. Hey, they are in the division. Then you had some just holding their nose and said, I'll go with the Eagles as long as it's not the Cowboys. We're good. But me, I was with the I was rolling with the Eagles. I wanted to see Jalen get a ring, but
Yeah.
what I also more than anything I wanted to see a good game. I wanted to see a good game.
I think we saw that
We did.
because I hold my nose and I was cheese. I'm sorry. I want my home to have another wine.
Now, right before halftime, I thought my homie was done because
Yeah,
he re-
that didn't really look bad.
But I tell you what, it didn't look too bad when he kept that ball in the fourth quarter and ran for about 20 yards to pick up the first down. I was like, oh, this game is almost over. And then it came down to that one play where the referee decided the game. The referees decided the game. The game was decided by the refs. So, Jay, I take it you are celebrating and happy that your team won?
I am. It's over here.
So were you at a Super Bowl party?
You can say that.
Well, Jay, you continue to party and party responsibly wherever you at. And hey, I appreciate you calling. This will be the last show for this year. In fact, I'm gonna have a special little something at the end to all my listeners. But I appreciate you calling, and you've been one of my regulars. And thank you for calling. And hey, I hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl and take care of yourself. Okay.
All right.
All right, Jay.
All right.
All right. If you are just listening and you're just tuning in and you want to know what the hell am I listening to, this is Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr., where if you want to call, the number is 940-329-4110. That's 940-329-4110. This will be the last show of the year. Let's see who we got here, man. Hold on. Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr.
Yes, sir. What's up, my man? This is the Ravens extraordinaire, Brandon Cooper, calling from Grand Prairie, Texas.
Brother Cooper.
Ah, man, what we just saw is, like I keep telling people, it's a team that's been there before.
That's what it came down to.
And it shows the greatness of Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and that whole organization. For you to lose a player like Tyreek Hill and come back the next year and win it all, hey, man, that pays dividends, man. Eagles had a hell of a game. It just came down to in the second half, the Chiefs defense got back on point, and it had said the Chiefs scored on every possession in the second half.
They did.
So it came down to, in the first half, it was time of possession. It just seems like Philly was getting whatever they wanted.
They were. It looked like they were.
Their offensive line was pancaking the board. And from what I saw, they were just a more physical team. The Chiefs were just missing tackles. Seems like they were out of sync. And second half, man, they turned that on, man. That's all I can say, man. They Devontae Smith played a hell of a game. AJ Brown played a hell of a game. Wasn't as effective in the second half. Dallas Goedert really showed stats. Jalen Hurts played a hell of a game. Unfortunately, that turnovers happen.
Yes.
You gotta hold on to that ball. But other than that, man, it's just the greatness of Pat Mahomes. Now I will say, I was listening into the show. I know you was going in on the refs.
Man.
You don't make that type of pass interference. You don't make that type of
You don't do it, man. You don't do it. No,
You
sir.
don't do it.
You don't.
You let him play because he got him right off the line of scrimmage. Did he hold him? Yeah, but was it enough? Nah.
You
I'm
make
not gonna say that decided the game.
that
But
play to me, Brandon. That play. You know what? When it comes to the Super Bowl, you got to manage every play individually. Every play has a life within its own. If this makes sense, you have to value every play. So when you take a look at that fumble by Jalen, which led to a touchdown by the Chief defense on a scoop and score, man, you can't do that in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, you can't. They gotta knock you out, and the ball got to fall out your hand on the way to the ground. You can't just simply, Mm-mm. And I love Jalen. But that remind me when he was the quarterback for the Sooners. Every once in a while he would have those type of plays where he's running the ball and he would just fumble, or he would kind of get a little bit loose with the ball. Um, I mean, but I still say now I want to take you to while the game was being played, I was jotting down some notes because, believe it or not, like I tell my callers, man, I'll just roll out of bed and do this show. But the Eagles were, if you take a look at the first half, like you said, man, they were dominating the game. They were getting everything they wanted. The passing attack was working. The run game was on point. Jalen was giving a mixture of passing and running. He was running down their throat. And the Chiefs just could not get off the field on third down. And, if you keep a defense out there, you start to wear them down. But
it does.
What got me was going into, and I wrote this note here, 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Eagles had the ball. It was 3rd and 2. You're running this ball all night long on especially when it's 3rd and 2. And if you're not making it on third down, you're going for it on 4. Look how many times they went for it on 4th down and made it. But my point was, it was 3rd and 2, and they were indeed on their own, maybe 30-yard line, but it was 3rd and 2. They got away from what they were doing and what was working, and they decided, you know what, hey, we're gonna pass the ball. Didn't make it. And I wrote in my notebook, I said, you know what? Let me mark that. Because when Brandon or one of my other callers call in, I'm going to address that and say that was a key point in the game. It was a momentum swinger. Do you remember that?
It was. It was.
I'm
not gonna lie.
You got a running quarterback, man. Why? Why would you see? That's what gets me sometimes with some of these coordinators. Sometimes they get too into their own head as far as, you know what, I'm gonna trick them with this. No. Sometimes you just tricking yourself.
Man, this is my thing with the Eagles, man. Going into the second half, it was just they seemed to start losing their identity.
They did.
And I was like, okay, first half it was working because you were getting way more physical with them and you were running the ball downhill, which was setting up the big plays over the top for A.J. Brown, for Devontae Smith. But for some reason, they started doing this little dipsy doodle stuff.
Yes.
X, Y, and Z. And then what do we always say? There's 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. And Kadarius Toney had the big, was it a kick return?
Yep.
Because the kicker shanked that. He shanked it. It was a punt or a kick, one of them. And he shanked it, and he kicked it. He kicked it short.
Yep.
What happens is it was a punt. What happens is on punt, when you kick it short, that gives the return team, it's easier for them to shield and wall you off when you shake a punt. Because now everybody gets out of their lanes and things, right? You don't let the lanes develop.
And guess what? That was that same play when they failed to make that 32. When they failed to go for it, and they kicked it off, and oh boy, and like you said, it wasn't that deep of a punt. And then you had a couple of missed tackles, and he reversed field. And when he did, man, that bad boy partied like the Red Sea. And I was like,
It was. Now, this
oh,
is also what I'm gonna say about the Eagles defense. Now, when Kadarius Toney scored that first touchdown, when he did that, he went in motion, he faked the motion and went back out. They did the same thing
the
with Sky Moore on the
same
other side.
thing, man.
It was
Man, I
the
almost dropped
same
my
play.
good
I was
liquor,
telling you,
brother. I
bro.
almost.
What did they always teach you? When a wide receiver goes in motion, you never outrun the motion. You outran the motion. And I don't know how the Eagles defense didn't see, okay, it's the same formation. They're going to run it to the other side. Literally, reverse back out. James Bradbury went with the inside receiver. Nobody was over the top.
Nobody.
Touchdown, man.
Nobody. Like you said, they ran the same play again. The same play. And
Same
see,
two plays.
and the thing about the Chiefs, once they start playing video game football on you, then they got you. And that's what happened in the second half. Because the first half, they spent most of the time on the sidelines. But when they start being able to play what I call video game football, when they start looking like a video game on you, they trying all they trick plays and they moving formations and doing all these things. And once they get you in that trick box, just like they had the Eagles in, it was pretty much game over, man. Because you start to get in your own head on how to stop them.
Now, the thing I would say as well, it was just a great, well coached game.
Oh yeah.
But also, man, Pat Mahomes, you got to give that man credit, man. On one leg, he sucked it up, and when he ran for that last first down, I said, man, hey, that's greatness right there.
He ran for he ran for a ring. That's when you're running for a ring. You said, man,
he ran for the ring, but
he ran for the ring.
I kept telling people, I was like, the Chiefs have been there. Chiefs have been there.
And
Chiefs have been there.
And it showed at the end.
That was the game. You get after the Eagles scored that last 2-point conversion, 35-35. It's 5 minutes left. 2 timeouts. I like this Pat Mahomes time.
The Eagles have been there. Big Red, the head coach, has been there. He's been there so many times, and man, it's
and man, they were Juju stepped up, man. Isaiah Pacheco, he was playing out of his mind. Defense stepped up second half.
Out of his freaking
Kelsey
mind.
always playing a good man. It was beautiful football, man, and it just proves it. Hey, the best $500 million ever spent.
Man, but the only thing I say, brother, is, man, you don't make that call if you're a ref. You're a referee. You don't make that.
If you're a referee, you don't make that call. You gotta let them play.
You don't make
that call.
You don't want to put as we say, you don't want to put your thumb on the scale. On the scale of justice, man. You don't, man. And I'm like, okay, to me, you got to tackle the guy basically to get that call. It cannot be a tic-tac just because that kind of play is on every play where a guy goes in, goes out, defender may kind of grab his jersey for a second or whatever. But come on, man. You had to almost do a complete arm wrap to impede the guy you had to impede him on his route in order for that call to be made. I was like, man, you just don't, man. You Brandon, you don't make that call. You don't make that call, brother. You don't make that call.
So let's just say the call doesn't get made, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs kick a field goal right there. It's 38-35, right? All right, cool. So I'm assuming Philly gets the ball back.
They get the ball back with about a minute and 50 seconds left.
Minute and 50 seconds, maybe one timeout left.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
You could do a little damage with that.
You can do a lot of damage with those receivers that they had, with those 2 receivers that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude.
Hey, man, and also, man, shout out to Devontae Smith for proving everybody that it don't matter how big you are. It matters if you can ball.
Yeah, cause man, they stuck him a couple times. Man, he limped to the sidelines, and then he came back out. That one play, I was like, Devontae, just fall down, man. You can get back up because there's nobody near you. You remember when he caught it and he couldn't figure out his up from his down, and he kind of just went
Mm-hmm.
out of bounds. I'm like, dude, when you all by yourself, just fall. Like, okay, hey man, I caught the ball. Let me fall and get back up and crawl to the end zone or something. But it was all good, man. He played he played well. He played well. He really did. But I just know, man, you just don't as a referee,
That's
man.
gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be the talk of all the sports shows
Oh yeah,
about that call. Was it a crucial call? Yeah. It, if it's me, you don't make that call in that type of crucial environment. You let them play.
you let them
You
play.
gotta let them
This
play.
is Super Bowl, man. This is the Super Bowl. Super Bowl. You let them play. You let them play, man. You don't make that call. He got to almost tackle the guy. He does.
Yeah.
When you know that if you throw the flag, it's going to impact or make an impact on the difference of the game. You say, okay, I cannot be a part of the outcome. But man, brother,
I know
hey
that's
man,
what you going. I know that's what you're gonna stick to, man. I know
uh,
you're gonna stick to that.
man. But you know what? Now I will tell you because I was joking around with a couple of people that was. It's funny, man. I was watching the game and I had because I was texting you. Then I had a couple other people texting me. I had about 4 or 5 people texting me at the time, and I said, you know what? The way Jalen was playing, every owner, every team gonna go out there and get the prototypical or get me a RPO running type of quarterback. And I said, I can see, I can see everybody like, okay, let me go ahead and sign my man Lamar Jackson there. I can see his stock was starting to rise, and I think his stock is still rising. But hey
Man,
man,
look, don't do that. Why you mad? Don't do that, man. Why we gotta look? This is all I'm gonna say, right?
hey, what you gonna say,
If you
dog?
didn't if you didn't want this problem, the NFL should have stepped in and blocked the Cleveland Browns from giving Deshaun Watson $230 million fully guaranteed.
Yep, yep.
That's
I,
all. That's all I'm gonna say. Two
I
things could happen. Either the Ravens signed Lamar after he won the MVP, or the next year after he won his first playoff game, or the league should have stopped the Cleveland Browns from doing it because he completely reset the market.
yep.
Because if I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm going into negotiation. We're just not going to act like this contract just doesn't exist.
And we can't say that. Well, this was an anomaly. No, 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 no,
No, no,
no.
no, 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 no. Y'all gonna give one of these white boys more than $230 million. Y'all gonna give Joe Burrow more than $230 million guaranteed. I
That's
bet you.
right. And the market is set. The market is set.
And the market is saying, no, like we're not gonna just sit here and act like this contract just doesn't exist. Oh no. If I'm Lamar, I have an MVP. Look at my stats. Okay, if he got 230, well, I'm starting at 250.
The market is set. You're right. That's
Because
right.
if that's the case, we're not gonna have Deshaun Watson making all this money, and then we're just gonna act like it doesn't. Oh, well, that's just the Cleveland Browns. Oh no, the league should have stepped in.
Thank you. You know, that's what the
That's
market
all I'm
says.
saying. I'm like,
You're
no.
right. I wholeheartedly agree. I agree. You know, pay that man his money. Well, hey, my brother,
Mm-mm.
this will be the last episode of Sports Therapy with FH Junior this year. And hey, you know what? Because we shut this bad boy down after the Super Bowl. But hey, brother, I
Oh
appreciate
yeah,
you, man. I just love everything you were doing, everything you bring to the show, man. Your insight, your knowledge.
man.
You
Appreciate it.
played the game. You can, see it from a different point of view, man, and that's something that I really cherish, brother. So hey, man, I appreciate you, and like I said, this is gonna be the last episode until next year. We're gonna do a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things different next year. I got a lot of things cooking, man. I'm gonna be doing a lot of negotiating on the back end.
Amen. Let me know, man. What's up for It's about to be a crazy off season, especially with my team, man.
Yes.
So
Oh, definitely. So hey, man, I appreciate it. Get you one last plug in for what you do, my
yes,
brother.
sir, man. Hey, appreciate it, FH Junior, man. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate what you're doing and getting a true insight from different fans and different perspectives of the game, man. You're keeping everybody alert. You're keeping everybody intact and in tune. So once again, man, this is your boy Brandon Cooper from Grand Prairie, Texas, the Ravens extraordinaire. Even though I might have to get a new quarterback jersey, but hey, man, check my boys and I out. We have D1 Ignite University is the podcast name. We're on Anchor app, Spotify podcast, Apple podcasts. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. That's D1 IGNANT University. Check us out, man. And hey, congratulations to the Chiefs. Y'all earned it. Also, congratulations to the Eagles, man. Y'all made it that far. But it's going to be a crazy offseason, man.
It's gonna be a crazy all season. Hey, thank you, my brother. All right.
No problem, man. Thank you, my man. Keep doing God's work, brother.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Discover Crown Royal Canadian blended whiskey. Patiently fit for a king, expertly blended since 1939. Whenever I'm out crime fighting, man, you know I reach for a bottle of Crown Royal, and you know what I say? Man, I say, crown me, baby. Crown Royal. Drink Crown Royal responsibly. And that's what I do. Crown Royal. That is my drink indeed. Yes, sir. Now, if you want to call in, the number to call is 940-329-4110. That is the number to call in if you want to be on Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr. We are streamed live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can also reach me on Instagram at Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr. All right, we got to take another call. One more call. Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr.
What's up with my brother? I would like to first of all congratulate the Chiefs.
Yes.
And congratulate the damn referee that made that dumbass call.
Man.
I know he got the MVP.
Man.
Did they give him the MVP?
Nah, he's probably too busy running for his life right about now.
In the hell you gonna make a call like that at the end of the game, man? How?
Man. You know, like I was talking to my other callers, man. I was talking to Brandon from Grand Prairie, Texas. Talk a little bit with Jay. And what I said, man, is, you know, I was rolling with the Eagles, man. I want to fly like an eagle. I just can't go with them Cowboys, but I was still rolling with the NFC. And to me, the Eagles were having their way with the Chiefs. They were doing everything the Eagles wanted to do. They had established the run. Jalen was running the ball. He was passing the ball. The offensive line was blocking well. Defense was playing well. And they was keeping my homie and the Chiefs on the sideline. They were basically eating up the clock, playing Eagles football. But as I was telling Brandon, when you in the Super Bowl, every possession is a key possession. Every possession is a key possession. You simply cannot, you have to value every possession you get. So when Jalen had that fumble and old boy turned it into a scoop and a score, that really came back, and except for that bonehead call by the referee, because the game was so tight, the team was so close together, man, there was no room for, no margin for error like that, brother. What say ye?
That's totally true. That's totally true. And I think there was a big play in the game, even though it was early in the game. There was a big play though.
Oh yes.
There was a big play, even though it was early in the game. But it was a good game till the referee made that call. You just don't make no call at the end like that, man.
You don't. You don't. You don't.
But you know, I thought I was proud of Philadelphia the way they played, but I just was kind of disappointed that they didn't do more blitzes. They didn't try to blitz Patrick Mahomes more.
Yeah.
You know, I
I thought sure they would have did a little more blitzing, but Andy Reid seen something in the second half. He seen something in the second half, and they took advantage of it. They kind of killed it too.
Yeah, he made his adjustment, but but was it so much that Andy Reid made an adjustment, or Philadelphia stopped playing the way that what they stopped doing what got them in the position that they were in the first place? Because without
They stopped doing what they stopped doing what they were doing.
yes, because as I was telling Brandon, and I marked this down, man. I made a note. I said, when I come on there and do my show, I was gonna talk about this. Um, it was 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Philadelphia was running the ball. And here's the thing: you got your quarterback constantly running and picking up first down. You got your running back. They were easily, whenever they decided to run the ball, Glenn, they were always picking up 3 and 4, 2 and 3 yards. That was just a given. And going for it on fourth down, they were playing like, you know what, we came to win. We won, but it was in the fourth quarter with 10 minutes to go, 3rd down and 2. They were on their own 29-yard line, 3rd down and 2. They decided to pass the ball instead of running the ball and picking up that first down. And the momentum of that game swung on that one play.
Yeah. That one play, that's sure true. It's sure true.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was a good Super Bowl though.
It was.
It was a good Super Bowl. 2 good quarterbacks. I really thought Jalen Hurts. I played Patrick Mahomes in the first half.
He did. Man,
he outplayed him in the first half.
Man, they were polishing up that MVP, man, because I was telling a couple of people that I was texting back and forth. I said, man, I was talking to one of my Cowboy fans. I said, man, Jerry finna make a deal right now. See, can he sign Lamar Jackson, man, and trade him for Dak so he can get him a running quarterback? Because the way Jalen was playing, everybody gonna go out and get them a running quarterback. But then all of a sudden, it wasn't so much Jalen stopped playing. It was the fact that the coach started calling the game different, man.
Too conservative.
Yes. I was like, man, what are you doing?
He went kind of conservative.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Man, he should have kept throwing that ball, man, because they could have stopped that tight end. They could have stopped that tight end.
All I know is he should have ran that ball on 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2. Because the way they were doing it, was running. Even if you'd have ran on 3rd and 2 and got down to 4th and 1, you could. In the way they were going for it on 4th down, that wasn't even a doubt. But to go for it on 3rd and 2 and pass the ball and not make it, and then they turn around and punted the ball, and dude fielded the ball, and the punt wasn't that great. Oh boy, got it and ran it right down to their 10-yard line. And that led to like I told you, the momentum of the game swung on that one play. Yep.
Yeah, that was a turning point. That was a turning point of the game. I would listen to you. Yeah, it was a turning point of the game right there.
Oh man, I'm like, what the heck, man? But it was a good game.
Yeah, I was a little sick behind the Super Bowl, but as long as them Cowboys ain't in it, I'm okay. I can live with it.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
I can live with it.
I was looking forward to the Eagles winning so that it would really make the Cowboy fans really mad to know that and all the things and all the moves that they've been making, and which hasn't worked. And here the Eagles, they've been in the Super Bowl 2 times in the last 5 years. And oh man,
right.
That would have really, really, really sent the Cowboy, my good Cowboy fans over the edge. But
yeah, I was trying to do something to rub it in for them too. But I would like to come in. I would like to come in the Cowboys on another sorry ass season. And I hope next year will be worth it. I hope next year will be worth it this year. They won't see another Super Bowl. They probably about another 20 years away from being in the Super Bowl again. I'd like to commend Jerry Jones. Hope he keeps things intact just like he got it.
And,
Keep him an average quarterback.
and that's exactly what you.
I love
And that's exactly what Jerry gonna do too. He gonna keep everything status quo, brother. Jerry ain't changing up a thing.
I hope he's going to sign Josh Rosen next year. make him the backup quarterback.
Oh.
My Steelers coming.
Hey,
My Steelers be back. We'll be back in there.
You okay with your 40-year-old rookie?
Yeah, I gave him about 2 years. We're gonna find somebody else.
Yeah, because I actually saw I actually saw where he had actually made some good stride, man. He was looking good toward the end, man. Now they just have to beef up the defense a little bit. I think you guys probably need a good cornerback. Probably can use a good middle linebacker like we could, because everybody need a linebacker now that can cover, man. You can find a middle linebacker that can tackle and hit, but you can't find one that can tackle.
I can't wait till the draft comes. I can't wait to see what the draft gonna be like.
Speaking of tackling, did you see that hit that old boy from the Eagles put on that on Pacheco, man? Man, he came up
and that boy don't know it.
Woo!
That boy don't know he still that boy probably still think he knocked the snot out that boy.
He think he still got the ball in his hand.
Yeah, he think he still holding on to the ball.
Man, man. Oh, that was a hit, man. That was an NFL hit right there, man. He bought the.
I'm surprised he didn't fumble that ball, man.
Man, he bought the good wood to him, boy.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something else surprised me. About that game. As good as good as two good all of them good defensive linemen, nobody hardly gets any sack.
You're right. Nobody. Nope. But that was because, the Eagles, Mahomes was getting the ball out of his hand really quick, and they just couldn't get him. And now they almost had him a couple of times. He just managed to get away. Well, Kansas City wasn't going to never sack Jalen, because Jalen was basically just, he was a running back. He's like, man, you turn around, he passed you. But it was all good, though, man.
Oh yeah, hell of a game.
It was, and you know what? This is what I asked all my callers, man. You know what my meal was today, brother.
Yeah, I see what you had, man. You showing out with you.
Boy, you know what my meal, boy? Hey, man, I had jerk chicken, I had crab legs, boy, I had shrimp, andouille sausage, corn.
Yeah,
boy.
Yeah, man, you showing out, man. I'm gonna tell your sister what you did, man. I'm glad you sent me the pictures. I'm sure they ever did. We'll tell Hazel, look what Frank
Oh, man, I had to go to it, brother. I had to go to it, man. I did, man. I had to have my game meal, man. You got to always have a good game meal, man, to set the tone, man. Had to set the tone.
The sister cooked a good game meal the day before, I guess.
Yeah.
I went by there. She had some steak and gravy.
Woo!
She had some more stuff, but hell, that steak and gravy so good, I didn't even think about the other.
Yeah, man. But see, that's what made the game so good, man. Because normally, one thing you hate, man, you hate to see a Super Bowl game that wasn't good competition, because nobody wants to see a blowout, man. You've had some games where it's just a blowout, but and what I liked, Glenn, was that they were showing the stats of both teams. And both teams' stats were exactly the same. Their record was the same. Exactly the same. I was like, yeah.
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah, they were, man.
So it was a good game, good Super Bowl. Ain't nothing to cry about.
No.
Best team won.
Yeah, best team won, and the two best teams were in it. We couldn't ask for it. We really couldn't ask for it.
That's right. Connect for nothing better.
But
and one of the worst teams was out of it. Them damn Cowboys didn't make it. So you can't actually no better than that.
But
I know they're gonna say that's all he talk about, the Cowboys. You damn right. I'm glad they ain't got their ass in there. That's right. As long as they ain't got their ass in there, I don't care what else. But that I just like the Tom Brady. I'd rather see Tom Brady win 7 more Super Bowls than to see their ass win 1 more. And I know I couldn't stand him.
TV Tom Brady.
But getting back, it was a good game, and I hate the Eagles loss, but I was satisfied with the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was too. But hey, let me ask you this question, man. Now that the Super Bowl has came and gone, you know, a lot of moves going to be made beginning tomorrow. I'm hoping that my Commanders, will pick up, I'm trying to think of the Chiefs offensive coordinator. God, what's my brother's name? Yes, I'm hoping we pick up Eric Bieniemy as our offensive coordinator, and my man Rivera will have a, maybe he'll do 1 more year and then finally go to the front office and get his butt out of the way. So my man Eric can come. Huh?
You all can have our offense coordinator. You can get our offense coordinator.
Nah, we good with that.
We'll trade you here for a janitor.
Nah, we want that arrow pointing up, man. And on top of that, so now let me ask you this. What do you think the quarterbacks are going to fall? Because we got a lot of good free agent quarterbacks out there. Tampa Bay need a quarterback. Saints need a quarterback. There's a couple more teams out there need a good quarterback. We know there's going to be controversy.
I was reading today, the Jets asked about Aaron Rodgers.
Well, let's talk. That's where he's supposed to be going. There's talk. That's where he's supposed to be going.
Old guy. I'll be looking for me somebody young where I can
fill
him up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. You know, I'm kind of curious to see how Tennessee Titans gonna do that boy, the Willis boy, Malik Willis.
I think
he's raw and talent.
Yeah, he is.
Just need somebody to know how to coach him.
Yeah, so I can see them maybe getting a veteran, maybe like Carr, and then letting him sit behind Carr for about 1 more year. Because when he does get his act together, man, Willis is a talent, man. He got a lot of things going on. I like his upside.
How would you feel about the Commanders picking up somebody like Andy Dalton?
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Nah. You know what? I would rather take my chance with my man Howell. If other than what we got, if they decide not to, because I know the fans are saying, look, we gotta let him do what he do, especially the game that he put on against the Cowboys. Now he pretty much, they've already said he's over their starter. But I'll tell you what, if we got a chance to pick Trey Lance up out there, now hey, that's a deal I'd have to make, because something's gonna have to happen between Trey Lance, because 49ers are pretty much gonna probably go with Brock. But I can tell you what, boy, man, because Trey Lance, that boy can play some football, man. And whoever can get him. But I will tell you, like we talked about earlier, there are a lot of good young quarterbacks coming out this year, man. They're at least.
Yeah, in the draft.
Oh, yes. Definitely, man. Yes. So
it's nice coming out in the draft.
So like these old veteran guys, man, truth be told, a lot of teams are siding there. You know what? Instead of paying these veterans these $40 and $50 million a year, if we just get us a rookie, let him play, knowing we not going anywhere this first year or so, get us a rookie. Now we got him on a rookie contract, so now we can rebuild our team with the money that we're saving by not paying one of these veteran quarterbacks. Now if you're trying to win now, I can see that, but And if you think about it now, Jalen is gonna get paid. Somebody better roll up a couple of money trucks to his house tomorrow. You gotta get that brother paid, huh?
Yeah, he's fit to get paid.
Yes.
Yeah, he's fit to get paid.
Yeah. And now whatever's going on with Lamar Jackson, now here's how I see it. I'm for the brother getting the same type of contract that Watson has because Watson set the market. Once the market gets set at a certain amount that quarterbacks get, you got to pay him. You can't just say, "Well, that's something that Cleveland did." No, that if the market say the average starting quarterback is around $40 million, guaranteed of $200 million, you got to follow him because Joe Burrows is going to get his money. He's finna get his money. You know what I'm saying?
The boy from the Chargers.
Yes.
Yeah, they gonna get their.
They gonna get their money.
Jones, gonna get, they gonna get their money.
Dak got his money. So two things that they can do now, but I will tell you this now. They'll probably franchise Lamar. I'm sure they are. They'll put the franchise tag on, which means he's gonna make about $40 or $50 million. You never say no to $40 or $50 million. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be on that franchise tag, but look, man, if you making $40 million, you practically set for life. If you now keep in mind when you say $40 million now, and I want my listeners to know this, $40 million don't mean that's how much that brother's gonna get. Now you got to figure in the tax a percentage of that, probably 21%. So out of that $40 million, you probably get, I don't know, something like 32 million cleared, with tax and all. And then if they do that for 1 year and if you have a good year, if they decide to franchise tag him again, then they got to pay him up, 60, maybe like $80 million. So, and then when you do decide after 2 years, well, you know what, you all guy, now you got to come back around and pay him that $200 million. It may be $300 million in 2 years from now. So, but that's the chance you take. But like I said, nobody wants to be franchise tagged, but you don't walk away and say no to $40 million a year.
$40 million. Oh, that's the
Nah. That's almost my man that remind me in basketball with my man Spreewell. So when they offered him back at the time, I think they offered Spreewell about $70-something million. He said, "Man, ain't enough. My kids got to eat. Man, what the hell your kid gonna eat if 70?
Yeah, what are you eating? Crab legs every day?
Man, you can eat, man, with that kind of money, you can eat the whole crab."
Hey, man, you eat the whole big thing. For real, man. What are you eating oxtails every day?
He turned down, you remember he turned down $70 million. That's what the market was back then now. It ain't crazy like it is now with these guys making $200 or $300, $170, $180 million, huh?
It ain't played in the league then.
No. They offered him an extension because he was already with the team, so they offered him an extension of $70 million. He said, "Man, I got kids to feed, man. What you think my kids gonna eat? Seriously, brother?"
Hey, man. But like I always tell you, just because the rich don't make you smart.
Don't make you smart at all, man. At all.
Don't make you smart.
Man.
They sure don't.
I'm like, man, are you serious, man? And like you said, he ain't played in the league since, Doc. $70 million. Man, I could buy a small island with that. I'd buy a small island. I'd do the show remotely from my island.
After I retire, I'll still be practicing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Man.
It might call me back.
But hey, that brother said, man, But that's what I'm talking about is when we look at what the market is and what the market says that quarterbacks should be making, they need to pay that brother because it was similar to what the Redskins did when we had Kirk. Now Kirk. Me personally, I wouldn't have even been messing around with Kirk because I would let Kirk walk. But Kirk Cousins would have throw a bunch of empty yards. Now, he would have a lot of stats, but, man, he would always throw that key interception. When I say empty yards, I mean going from the 20 to the 20, he great. But when he get inside the red zone, man, that joke will fumble, throw interception, da-da-da. Now, he got a lot better. But, man,
that's right.
But it ain't my money. But I'm just saying, but if you're going to sign your quarterback, go ahead and pay him. don't get to playing that game where hey, we're gonna franchise tag you for 1 year and pay you $40 million. Then we ain't sure you the man, so we're gonna franchise tag you again and pay you $80 million. And then finally we can't franchise you 2 times in a row. So now we done paid you over $140 million, and you get to walk away with $140 million, and we ain't got no quarterback. What the hell, man?
That's right. That's right.
So
he's just a better upgrade, better than Carson Wentz.
yes, yeah. And you know how I feel about Carson Wentz, man. And you guys told me, but hey, man, I tried, man. I tried hard to say, you know what, I'm gonna give him a shot, man. Because I remember sometimes I was like, you know what, maybe he just need a change, man. Maybe he need to do like Michael Jackson. He gonna make that change. He the man in the mirror. He finna make that change. Hell nah.
I hope he go to the Cowboys. If it's a good fit with the Cowboys.
Hey, they might pick him up too, man. As a backup to Dak, man. And then when Dak get to throw it in Dak get to throw it in the interception, man, the fans be calling for Wentz.
Yeah.
But you know what? I wouldn't do that to my boy Chris, man. Chris, my cowboy caller. I wouldn't do that to Chris. I said, Chris, look, man, go down there and stop that, brother, because you have a heartburn, man.
That's why I have a nervous breakdown.
Woo.
My cousin Chris, the same way. Chris, you know my cousin Chris.
Yeah.
My auntie son Chris. He'll die hard Cowboy fan. I'm gonna call him and tell him. Y'all, I heard Jerry Jones gonna be saying to Carson Wentz.
Oh man,
he gonna go crazy.
Don't make your boy to start taking Rolaids. He could be on Rolaids this summer, man. Man, that man he can't eat, man. Every time he eat anything spicy, you gotta have some Rolaids because you don't told him that.
Did you tell him something like that, wouldn't you?
Woo,
yes,
man, hey, brothers,
yes,
it's been crazy, man. But man, you know what? It's been a good year, man. You know, man, when I first started doing this show, man, when I had the idea, man, I said, you know what? I'm gonna, cause really, I came up with the idea of doing this when we had the pandemic. You know, everybody was closed in. I said, you know what, man? I'm gonna do a podcast, and because see, what people don't understand, man, is that. And we getting up. This is the last show anyway, so I said I had some special toward the end because this is the last show until next season anyway. But going back to why I decided to do this, man, I had when I was a student at UAPB, and I always set my signature call on the yard, and I always tell them, man, stay golden, baby. When you're golden line, you got to always stay golden through the good times and the bad times, man. I always stay golden.
That's right.
The trouble don't last. Trouble don't last forever, man. But
that's right.
I was actually a radio and TV major when I was on the yard, believe it or not. Yeah, I majored in radio and television. So that's why this actually comes natural to me. Because people are like, well, hey, man, when did you? Look, I've always been able to, because this is what I majored in. I went to school for this. But you know, man, then I got sidetracked and I started doing something else. I got into education for about 30 years. But I came up with the idea to do a podcast. I was like, okay, well, I can do this. You know, I checked with some folks that I knew as to what equipment I would need. But I wanted to do something that was totally different than everybody else, because there were a lot of podcasts out there, and there still are. But so far, I haven't found anybody that's doing what I'm doing, which is I'm calling in. I'm the only one that have live callers. My callers get called. And people trying to figure out how I do it. They say, well, how do you do it? Because most people have guests in the studio, or they have to set up what's called a Zoom, where you got to send them like a little passcode and they got to go to their computer and all. No. We ain't doing all that, man. It's just a call. You call in, don't you? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And not only do you get to call it, huh?
They call in and talk about them damn Cowboys. That's just be all damn good in the world.
And not only do you call in, you can listen to the show while you are waiting to you in the queue. Can't you hear the whole show?
Yep.
Yeah.
You sure can.
Yeah, you hear the show. So it took me a while, man, to kind of get to what I wanted to do, man. I researched and I had to call a lot of different companies and say, okay, man, this is what I wanted, and that's why I got hooked up with this platform that I use called Call In Studio, and that's a shameless plug for them because you know what, they provide the service, man, and in fact, they do everything as if I was in a regular radio station. Now, I have controls as to how and when I can let callers come in. I can pause and put them on whatever. But like I said, this is when I came up with this concept. I wanted to combine because I am a certified counselor. I tell people that's what I do for a living. I am a professional counselor. This is my over 30-something years at doing it. So I combine counseling with football. So everything, yeah, because all the stuff we do is therapeutic in a sense, you know. You get the call, get 2 minutes to call, rip, rant, kick a little knowledge, laugh. You know, we poke fun at each other. It's all good, you know. But
that's right. I enjoy it.
So I said,
I love
I said, this is what I'm gonna do, man. This is what the show will be about. This will be the concept of sports therapy with FH Jr. Now, everybody don't know what FH Jr. means. That is simply that is the initial of my name, Frank Hammond. It's sports therapy. Now, do we provide real therapy? I tell my call, look, man, hey, if you want medical advice, this ain't the place to call. But if you just want to laugh, giggle, and act a fool for about a couple of minutes, hey, man, call in and be free to do what you do. But this was our first real year, and I said, because you know there's a lot of podcasts you call in, they're all over the place, man. The 1 minute they talking about the weather, the next minute they talking about football, baseball, basketball, politics, race relations, and all that. I said, nah, I'm gonna stick with one idea, and that is the NFL. We follow the NFL from we start with the preseason, and then we kick it out with the regular season. We come every week. And this has been the first year. So, and I tell my callers, man, hey, man, you like the show? Cool. If you don't, call in and say you hate the show. It's still, you know. But next year, man, we're gonna be bigger and better and stuff like that, man, because I have a lot of some other sponsors that I reached out to. And in fact, during the summer, while because this is the last show, I will be really working on because I have enough episodes in where people can still continue to listen to like all the shows that we do that we've been doing, which is about, man, do you know we've done over 20 shows? So and,
Wow.
and so they're on so it's just like, you know, when you like if you want to listen to or you didn't get a chance to watch a show on TV, you know, you can always now, hell, they got apps you can go pull up and you can watch whatever whole season. And that's how this will be. People can still, for those who didn't get a chance to listen to us live or through streaming, they can still always go up and pull up every episode, man. And so next year, that's what we're going to be doing, man. It's just, you know, we're going to be marketing what we're doing. And it'll be time to start reaching a big audience. Because my goal for this summer is by the time we come on next year, man, we're going to have close to, I don't know, over 100,000 listeners, man. And, you know, and yeah, hey, man, because I did.
Everything worked out.
Yeah, because the goal, man, is to make money. You know, we've got enough episodes out there now that we can start selling episodes and advertisement and all that, and man, it's been a blessing. But you know what? The cool thing is, man, is that I've enjoyed working with people that I like, you know, friends, and you know, because you know you and I, and people don't realize, man, you and I, when I say you my homeboy, man, look. I don't know, do my listeners know, man, you and I was hanging out about a week or so ago, man. It's like, hey, man. Yes, we go back to, when I tell people, man, we go back to potty training and stuff. It's for real, man, you know? Yeah, man. Oh, man, and that's a long way, bro. But, you know, man, you one of my dearest friends, man. You know, I love you like a brother, man, because you've always been there, man. We've always, you know, we man, we was on Pee Wee football, basketball team together, man.
That's
High school.
yeah,
Yeah, man. But like I said, man,
that's all good.
the whole thing, man, is to be able to do something that you enjoy and you do it with people that you enjoy working with, man. You know,
I appreciate that, brother.
and I ain't gonna lie,
I
man.
appreciate you letting me come on the show.
Man,
I'm sorry about cutting you off. I just want to say,
no, go ahead.
I appreciate the show this year. I appreciate the show. Appreciate everything you did. And I think it's a wonderful show, and they're going to do nothing but grow. And I love coming on your show talking about them damn Cowboys, no matter what go on. There's nothing more that I hate than they sorry. Now you go back to
But as I was saying, man, you know, my listeners, man, they love my homeboy Glenn. They say, man.
I love them too, but I hate them damn Cowboys.
And see, they
Tell your listeners I love them still. Pray for them every night.
You pray for them, man.
Damn Cowboys. I pray for them every night. But I'll pray for them damn Cowboys.
And see, I was out today, man, as I was getting ready for the show. I was just out circulating, man. I saw a lot of, I ran into a lot of Chief fans, then ran into a lot of Eagle fans. Because people don't realize I actually live in the great state of Texas and stuff like that. And, you know, for me to be living in Texas, and if you look on the, you know, if you look at our show, you can see, man, that the show, now, I actually can go and do the show from some studio, but and then it makes me like everybody else, and that's what I don't want to be. I don't want to be like everybody. Yeah, I can go rent some studio, but it's cool that the show is done from my house. It is done in one of my little my closet that I got set up, and but that's what makes it, because this is my bunker. This is where sports therapy takes place, and hey, man, I've enjoyed it, man. And like I said, next year we're gonna do it bigger and better because I'm gonna spend the whole summer, you know, really, really refining some of the things that we're doing. But the basic concept is gonna stay the same. You know, we're gonna always have our listeners will always get to call in. We not finna go commercial. We not finna be calling from some big studio because, you know, I get people calling me all the time wanting to, hey man, you want to rent some studio space? No. I don't. I have no inkling. No, because it messes up my concept. You know, it's nice, it's roomy, and whatever, man. You know, I got all my equipment. I operate my own board right here. And, you know, if I want to fire off some sounds, if I want to fire off some music, see, I can fire off some music. I can do all that. So it's all good. I'm my own board op. You know, so, but all together, man, it's been fun, man. I've enjoyed it, man, and we're going to be coming next year. But now, this will be the last episode of Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. for this year because, hey, when the Super Bowl ends, football season ends. But we're going to be back starting with, we'll probably come back right about when the preseason stuff. We're gonna kick it off, and of course, you know, we'll do that. But during the summer, I'm also gonna still be working with my my fans, but it'll be through my Facebook account, my Instagram account, because I actually have about, so far I've got about 40 followers on my my Facebook, because I did start like a club, a sports therapy club, and that way, you know, how we call and send information with each other. So hopefully that'll get bigger and stuff like that. But it's been good, Glenn. So on that note, brother, we're gonna wrap it up. And man, I will see you next year, man. I enjoy you, man. I love you, man. And hey, thanks for being my guest, brother. All right. Well, folks, I love you too, man. Folks, this has been the sound of my music. This is one last time you get to hear. Yes, this has been Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr., man. We are starting to land the ship. And it's been a good year. It's been a long year. We have episodes out there. I want to thank all my guests, Jay, Chris, the Cowboy Lover, Bridget and H-Town, my homeboy Glenn, Brandon from D Ignorant University. I'd like to thank all my listeners, all over the place. The great state of Arkansas, my country kin folks who helped me to be me. Love all of them, man. Don't always like them, but I always love them. I always like to thank my sponsor, Crown Royal, and all my listening audience and those on the yard. You always know what I always tell you guys, man. When I say stay golden, I mean, man, stay true to yourself, because trouble don't last forever. This has been F.A. Jr. This has been our show for this year, and we will see you next year, and we will be back. Thank you.